are not mic'd. Oh my gosh, I missed everything we just talked about. That's okay. Now we're getting going here. Okay, so welcome to Uptown tonight. If I sound like a robot, I'm sorry. We're still working the audio part out. I'm here tonight with Mr. Nate Pehler.
What up?
And he does his own podcast called Seen But Not Heard. Now I just got to make him reiterate exactly everything he was just talking about. So, Nate, how did you get started? Where did all this come from?
Pretty much, this is my passion project for going sober, actually. I needed something to pass the time, and I was going to take advantage of all the contacts I have in the metal world. And since we're not playing live or doing anything right now, I wanted to do something musical. So I was like, I'll jump on the podcast YouTube train and, make that YouTube money, which is still $0. So my parents are super proud.
Zero.
But, it's just, it's a way to get unknown bands out there, bands you're not going to come across on a daily basis, and give them a platform. Because being like a podcast and a underground metal dude, I want to help these bands get noticed by more people. If it's one person, 100 people, 1,000 people, whatever, as long as, they kind of get their little moment in the spotlight, little help out.
Yeah, but it's still cool. It's like you're talking these national touring bands from Brazil, and last week you're talking to someone out of, it was Berlin, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so Berlin. I mean, it's just, how do you, I know you've done some cruises. I don't want to give away your stories. But,
yeah.
That's how you met some of these people. But how do you actually get in contact and do all this? Like, what's the secrets?
Skynet.
No. Terminator's coming.
So back in the day of promoting, meeting these the bands and the managers, and it's just kind of a 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon kind of thing, where if you're cool with someone, they keep in contact with you, and they'll try to help you out a little bit. From people like meeting Tony Dolan from Venom Inc. outside of a little bar in Minneapolis and shooting the shit with them, talking about what a huge Venom fan I am. Nice. We became friends on Facebook, and I hit him up, and he's like, "Oh, 100%, I'll do that for you in a heartbeat." Or Guillermo Miranda from Entombed AD. He actually stayed at my house after the Entombed AD show we booked here. And I gave him a ride to the bus station the next day, which caused me to be late for work and having to call my boss being like, I'm going to be about an hour late because I've got the guitarist of Entombed in my bed. Not my bed, but guest bedroom. And he needs a ride to the bus stop. And he's like, well, normally I'd be mad, but that is the coolest fucking story I've heard all day. So, but no, it's just like I said, being cool and upfront with people. None of these people are rock star attitudes and whatnot. They're all just normal people like you and me, and I just try to, keep it real with them and just like help each other out. I support their bands, they support what I'm doing, and like I said, it's just the metal family is pretty much what it comes down to.
That's just the strange part about us. You think that they have such a global, not vision, but something everyone sees or can see,
mm-hmm.
But yet they're still humble, just like they're a regular, regional band or whatever,
Well, that's the thing. They're just normal people, and we're talking about them like they're, these. To me, they're.
Well, that's what it seems like. You said they're looking at them on their CD or wherever you're looking, like at their media platform, and you're just like, these guys are huge.
Yeah.
They must be some kind of deity of sorts,
Yeah, but when it comes down to it, is like I said, if you're just cool with these people, like when Entombed was in town, we treated them like kings, and they treated us like kings right back. Because I was promoting that show, and then my band played with them, and we just hit it off. I mean, like, we hung out with them till like 5 a.m. on their bus, just chilling. And like I said, I took them to the strip club, and it was.
That'd make friends, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And when we're at the strip club, I bought them some drinks and gave them some money to tip with. And at that point, like, everyone added me on Facebook. And since then, we've been in contact ever since. So, like I said, it's just one of those, it's kind of luck in one way, but another way, it's just kind of going out of your way to show someone, some support and just, hey, I'm not just trying to like kiss your ass to get ahead in life. I actually think you're cool fucking people. Let's keep in contact. And a lot of them do. I mean, it's not just for the show that I talk to these people. It's like, every couple months I'll shoot them a message like, hey, how's life going? Like Carl Agel from COC, who sang on the Blind album. I've been keeping in contact with him here and there for about 4 years, and I finally asked him to be on the show, and he's like, dude, really? You want me to? That's awesome. Let's do this. I'm like, dude, no, it should be like me being like this to you. He's like, no, it's just cool that you still, keep that memory alive. That's a part of my life that, I'm really proud of. And I'm like, yeah, I am too. That's my favorite COC album. And yeah, they're just, a lot of them are really cool about it. There's only been a couple people that are like, no, I don't want anything to fucking do with that. I'm like, all right, man, that's cool. I'm not going to name names or whatnot, but that one kind of hurts a little bit when someone's just like, nah, fuck that. All right, well, fuck you too, I guess.
Yeah, it's just the idea behind that. No, that's still, you're just developing relationships with these people.
Mm-hmm.
So when you meet them, are they usually like treated that well? Or is this kind of the Fargo nicety?
It's just how I was raised. I mean, you've known me since I was a kid, and just, I appreciate everyone around me for giving me their time, whether it be in a band with them or just as a friend. Just how my dad raised me, like, be appreciative of the people that support you, the people that aren't trying to, take advantage of you. And like, that's all it really comes down to, is just be nice to someone. And you know what? Maybe down the road it'll come back. I don't believe in karma, but it'll help you out down the road,
So you've always been humble. So I just remember you from the old days. Why don't you explain a few of that? One of my favorite sweatshirts that I had for at least a while, and the guest that's coming up in a couple of weeks is the one who took it from me, and I'm not going to name names, but you'll see him, and I'll probably confront him about that when he gets in here. But what bands were you in, and who would you have to look up to while you're coming up, at least in Fargo, Moorhead?
God. Well, I started playing many years ago. 1993 was my first show with just this cover band where we did Pink Floyd and stuff like that. Then I joined a band called Boss Man Louie, which is alternative rock. And then Below, which was my claim to fame when I was 16 years old. Got to play with.
That's right. Learned about you and all.
Well, no, it was a little bit before that, because good old Dan Halen brought me over here, and you guys were jamming Carcass tunes and stuff in this exact room.
Exactly, it was in this room.
Yep. So, like I said, we've known each other for probably, it's 2001. That was 93, 94. Because,
that's true, yeah.
But musically, because I was that shy kid that was just blown away, oh man, these guys know metal. And we kept in contact ever since, and you and I have done, some things here and there.
Yep.
But no, after Below, I went and kind of took a little break, sold some gear, and then regretted it. And my dad told me to go get back into music and fronted me some cash and helped me get some gear. And then kind of went off with Nine Eyes for a bit, then Necktie Suicide, and then I went in the cover band game with Vindictus for a while. During all that point, too, doing black metal shit with WWJD, with Mr. Neil Stein from Egypt and Gorgatron, and El Supremo. And after that, went into Brutaler, and that's the last thing I really did that was a live project, and now I've got 2 other projects I'm working on. Closed Casket Crew, which I will just be fronting the band, but also I help write the music as well. Technically we have 3 guitarists in the bands, but I'll only be doing vocals live. And then I have another black metal project called Winter Goat. So
what was this last one you were talking about that you're fronting? I'm sorry,
Closed Casket Crew.
Closed Casket Crew.
That's me and Mr. Tyler Morehouse, ex-Kluge, ex-Descry, and Mr. Colin Gunderson, who is a master pickup builder. He builds my custom pickups for me. So both my Flying V's, my BC Rich, and my Munson, he custom built the pickups for me. We call them the Dark Muscle pickups. And they're just fantastic. So we pretty much got together drunkenly one night back in the day and decided, hey, let's start a project. So then we drug Tyler into it, and we're about 7 songs deep right now.
Nice.
Kind of looking for a couple other key members, just trying to find the right people. But it's cool because I have a lot more say and control in the writing process, which is something I really never had before in bands. So I don't. Yet again, I try to keep humble with it because I'm not like this is a fucking solo project. This is my shit. But at the same time, it's like I want to have the final say for once because I'm 40 years old. I've been playing live since I was 13. I think it's about time to like kind of. This is either going to make or break me as a musician.
Peeler no one's seen before.
What's that?
The shoulder side of Peeler no one's ever seen before.
Well, it'll be the same side, except I won't be hiding behind a flying V this time. Only behind closed doors when I'm helping writing the riffs and shit.
Nice. Now you play with Green Jello as well. Can you explain where that came from? How that come to be? You know, it just to me it seemed like it came out of left field, and you seem to always be there now when he comes to town.
That was 2013. I got a call from my buddy Cameron, and he's like, "Yeah, we need to piece together a regional Green Jello band, and we want you to do it." I'm like, "All right." So I jammed with him a couple times, and we did. I think I did 13 or 14 shows with them over like 5 years. And I love Bill. Bill's awesome. But the thing with Green Jello and me personally is I didn't use it to try to push my music career. It was just kind of one of those things to pass the time while I wasn't doing anything full time. Because one, I have zero creative control, and for me as a musician, I want to be able to write. I want to be able to push out my own music. Was it fun? Oh, hell yeah. It was a great time.
Yeah, shows are great, yeah.
I made zero money. I lost money doing it, but...
I wasn't going to ask you that next. Like, did I actually pay anything?
No, it didn't. It was one of those things for exposure, which every musician does. Like I said, it's about music to me. It's about making memories, but... There's a certain time, just kind of pass the torch to someone else that wants to do it more. I have stuff I want to focus on. I'm an extreme metal artist. I'm not like a punk rock guitar player, so it almost felt out of place for me. But like I said, it was fun to do, and I mean, I've got stories for days about me eating food off the ground drunk in Iowa at a gas station on our way to the IHOP so I could pay some kid $20 to chug syrup, and that's a real thing that happened. We call it the street meat incident.
Okay, you got to talk about that one.
So we finished playing at this place in Sioux City, Iowa.
Now this is Green Jello, right?
Green Jello, yep.
Okay.
And let's just say the owner of the bar was amazing to us. It was one of those, they gave us a couple hotel rooms. They gave us a free like hot meal and all you could drink. Like I remember going up to the bar and be like, "So what is it, like a couple drinks?" They're like, "Well, what do you need?" I'm like, "Jägermeister." They're like, "How much?" I'm like, "How much can I get?" They're like, "How much can you drink?" I'm like, "Well, let's find out." So I am handed this tray with like 16 shots of Jäg.
Oh my.
So I go put it on top of my amp, and everyone's like, "Oh, is that for us?" I'm like, "Get your fucking own, man." And so throughout the show, I drank them all, and we finished the show. Show goes as well as a Green Jello show can get. There's a lot of chaos going on, with people in the puppet masks and stuff. So, but I'm not doing Dream Theater stuff either. I'm playing like 4 chords and maybe like a rock and roll solo here. But so fast forward to the end of the night, we're done with the show. We load up, and I am just hammered drunk. Obviously.
What? 16 shots. Come on,
16
Nate.
shots. I know it could have been so much better. But so me and Cameron and Max were like, "Oh, there's an IHOP close," and I'm like, "Yeah, let's go get some food." And so we're walking. It's like 4 blocks away, and we walk through this closed down parking lot of this gas station, and there's like a bratwurst that's just sitting there in the wrapper, half eaten with mustard on it. I'm like, street meat. Grab it and just gulp. They're like, "Jesus, dude." I'm like, "What?" Lot brat.
Life on the road. It's not that glamorous.
You're either a road dog or you're a house dog, and I'm a road dog. But yeah, we went and had some food and woke up the next day hungover as shit and did it all over again. I think we played in Wisconsin after that, and it was a hell of a show. An hour late to the performance as usual, per Green Jello status. And some dude confused me for Glenn Danzig all night. and that was weird, but he took a picture with me, and he's like, oh, no one's going to believe this. I'm like, I know no one's going to believe it, because I'm not...
About a foot taller, yeah.
A foot taller, more than that, man. And I'm like 20 years younger. But yeah, his buddy's like, he thinks you're Glenn Danzig. I'm like, I am very much not Glenn Danzig. No, Bill called me that because I have a Danzig tattoo on my stomach. He's like, Glenn Danzig on guitar. I'm like, that's the only thing me and Glenn have in common. But I still to this day really, really want to know if he posted that picture to Facebook and was like, hey, I met Glenn Danzig, and I just wish I could read the comments of, wow, you're an idiot. But hey, it was fun. It was all in good time. All in good times. But yeah, like I said, about a few years ago, they asked me if I'd do a couple more Jello shows. And I was like, it's just not for me anymore. You know, let some younger kid do it. Let him have some fun with it. I will. I mean, if Bill asked me, he's like, hey man, I really need you to fill in. Like, I need you to. I'd do it in a heartbeat. But it's not something I plan on doing again.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my only story with Green Jellos, we opened up for him. I think you were playing with me that night, and then they didn't have a drum set.
Yep.
So guess who they borrowed? And my whole payment was him signing my snare drum ahead, drawing all the pigs and everything else on it. I still have it up in the living room there, so you can see when you walk on.
Oh, nice.
And Bill signed it and everything else. So that's my only story about Green Jello.
And like I said, Bill's a great dude. I could never say anything bad about him. He has some amazing stories. He's he's a character. Spending hours in the van with him is one of those things that's just it's a great time.
Now let's bring you back to your humble beginnings here, because you still have that humbleness to you, which is, to me, kind of crazy about all the things that you've accomplished and done in your life. Is that I would think you'd have more of an attitude, but you don't. And I'm gonna base it on that band Below, because that was one of my favorite bands growing up. I had the sweatshirt. Oh, that was my favorite thing. I wore it everywhere. And then this certain person that we already discussed, we're not going to say anymore, borrowed it and never was returned. So I was sad. Then the band broke up and there was no more sweatshirts. But you hanging with Dave Johnson, those guys, and those guys are just the most humble people you ever meet.
Oh,
it's just amazing.
They were some of the best musicians I ever played with. I was, so I joined that band when I was 15. Back in the day, before internet and any way of finding musicians, you'd have to go to either know someone or you'd have to go to a music store. And I was just,
remember those?
Right? So I was at Marguerite's Music that was located here in Moorhead. Like I said, I was 15 years old, and in the back hallway there, they had a bulletin board with, ads for shows or ads for people looking for musicians. And they're like, we're looking for a guitar player for heavy doom related project. And back then, that was my thing. I was like, all right, let's do this. So here's 15-year-old me calling and respond to the ad, and Chad was the person I talked to first, and he's like, yeah, we'll get, if you want an audition, do it up. So I showed up, me being 130 pounds soaking wet with this PV 5150 half stack and my Ibanez USA Custom. We jammed some Metallica, we jammed some Judas Priest, and the audition went very well. I got a call back, and we went from there. But yeah, like Chad was 10 years older than me. Dave was 6 years older than me. So I think Dave just turned 21 when I joined that band. And I was, like I said, 15 years old. So I'm in high school. I have a job. Like I was working at Pizza Hut at the time, and I have a band. And that was all my life then. But then I got a girlfriend, and I got kind of sidetracked. Like, hey, I want to kind of do this and this, and I just had too much.
Never get in the way. Ever.
Always. I got 2 ex-wives to prove that.
Oh.
But no, I'm just kidding. I do have 2 ex-wives though. But no, I wish that would have ended on better terms with us. But I'm still friends with the guys. Dave and I actually played in Brutaler. So I mean, everyone's cool. But yeah, it was just I had too much on my plate, and they wanted to push forward, and I didn't have the time. So it is what it is, but I'm really, really proud of what we accomplished. of just, we created some really cool music back then.
You did.
One of the first like heavy projects in town. I mean, we were tuned down to C. We're playing full stacks on stage, which I still been wanting to do forever, but no one wants to do full stacks anymore. No. But no, it was heavy. There were different times back then, and it was cool. Like I said, the one thing I liked the most is you didn't have the distractions like the social media and stuff. If you wanted to see a show, you went out and you tracked it down by finding the flyer and then going to that show, and the bands, they put on the best performance they could and still made zero money.
Oh, exactly.
Everyone talks about minimum wage wanting to go up, and all I want is, can we make it like a $7 door charge now instead of $5? I think it's been long enough. But yeah, I mean, that was a fun project, and I'm really glad I got to be a part of it. So yeah.
So cool. So you talked about what you've been doing lately. Is there any plans of putting on EP or anything soon, or?
With that, we've kind of run into a roadblock where Colin, our guitar player, he has to go overseas. He's in the military, and he's going to be over there for a year. So this weekend, we're going to have our last jam with him and kind of discuss what's next. I don't know. I mean, we're not going to break up or anything because I want to keep it going, but I'm sure it'll just be me and Tyler writing riffs and stuff, and who knows? I don't have the answer to that for that project, Close Casket Crew. We'll figure it out because I'm really proud of what we're doing with that stuff, but I do have plans to release at least a 4 to 5 song EP for Winter Goat in 2021, which is just going to be pure satanic evil black metal to follow up the 2003 demo Ascend the Inverted Church I released years and years ago. It's going to be evil as shit.
Can't wait to hear that one. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. All right, so I'm going to tease this. Your first guitar and your favorite guitar. But first, we need to talk to Cito. What's happening out of town, Cito?
Hey guys, what's going on? Oh, I'm over here. I'm new with this whole thing, so how y'all doing? Click this one, this one, and this one. And where is it at? Downtown. And the eyeball. There we go. All right, downtown happening in Fargo. Is we got the side street going on with the 12th and the 13th with Tom Sigler, and the VFW's got Kicking Back on both nights, Slammers, Just Us, and that must be an acoustic show, and then JC Chumley's got Rachel Ilario, and Thursday 11th. M&J Saloon is having the new band The Woods. That's Butter and Rock and Luke. Yeah, so make sure you guys go check them out. And that's it with the downtown scene. What we got with Uptown. Windbreak October Road is there all weekend. And then Some Shitty Cover Band is on the Saturday. The Tack Jackal. Is that for real? Like for real. Chainsaw Jackal?
Really?
Yep. All right. That's happening at the Tax Center on
this weekend.
What nights? Yeah. 2 nighters. Wow.
Exactly.
Times are tough for Jackal.
Rock me, roll me, jackal me off.
Then what do I go do? Right here?
No way. Huh.
One more.
And then we got the out of town. At the original in Minot, we got the FM All Stars on the Friday the 12th, and then at the Southtown Poorhouse, we got the Shitty Cover Band on Friday, and then we'll be cleaning up after them on Saturday, Uptown. The Diamond Lounge has the Great Outdoors, some good friends of ours, and then we'll get some more music as it gets out there, you guys. So.
Excellent. Now, disclaimer, all times, dates, and events are subject to change anytime, any moment. Please contact your venues before you venture out to go see these artists. So, there's your disclaimer. All right, so Nate, first guitar, favorite guitar.
Okay,
or drums.
let me just.
You played drums too at one time.
I played drums once in a band called Citadel. They were desperate for a drummer, and I was desperate for attention. So my first guitar was I got when I was 7 years old. I got a nylon string acoustic, which when I was in Catholic school, yes, I went to Catholic school for 7 years. I learned on that for a few years, and back then I would music just makes sense to me. I can't explain everything 100% in music theory, but I can explain as best as I can. But like everything made sense, so I flew through learning chords and songs like that. So my dad's like, "Hey, let's move you up to some better gear."
And I'm the exact opposite. If I don't know exactly the nitty gritty why things are working, it doesn't fit. It takes forever.
Like I wish I had that. Like in my head it makes sense, but I can't explain it as best as possible.
And that's fine.
But so that nylon turned into a electric guitar, and then I did a couple of years with some different teachers, but then my dad really kicked it up a notch when I was about 13. He's like, let's get you some really good gear because you're taking this serious. And then Steve Stein entered my life, and I took lessons with him for 7 years, going like twice a week for an hour, like an hour each time.
An hour? Was Steve Stein at 13?
Oh, dude, he taught me everything. He not just how to play, but actually how to teach, because I am a teacher now as well.
Awesome.
Which I really shouldn't have thrown that in the whole music theory thing and then be like, hey, by the way, I teach music. But
Don't forgive you.
The students I have, I start beginning to intermediate, so we're not discussing like the major music theories of like tritones and shit like that. It's all open chords, Metallica tunes, basic scales, modes, stuff like that. The boring but yet really necessary things. Sorry, I digressed there. Favorite guitar? I don't know how to answer that question. I have... Oh God.
He knows.
I mean, as of right now, the one that it'd probably be one of my... the JPM 100 that I had, the John Petrucci model that they made in the early 90s.
I remember that one. You and...
Brian,
yeah.
I missed
Both
that guitar.
had one. There was 100 of them made.
Yep.
There was 2 of them that sat in one house at one point in Moorhead, Minnesota.
What are the odds of that?
I don't know. It was awesome.
Well, here's another kind of funny story on like limited guitars. Then I'll get to my favorite guitar part besides the JPM 100 that I don't own anymore. Schecter released a Texas Chainsaw Massacre limited edition run. Which is a Schecter Avenger with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning graphic on it. Super cool. Has meat hooks for inlays on the neck. I had one of those when I was married to my second wife. She gifted it to me. We got in an argument from our divorce, and I decided it would be cool to smash it rather than give it back. So that thing was destroyed. So now there was 99 of them left on the planet. Rewind 5 years ago, I found one on eBay where the person didn't put it under the musical instrument. They put it under movie memorabilia, so no one bid on it, and I got that thing for $200.
Oh, God. Nice.
$1,000 guitar. He was so mad. He's like, I guess I got to fucking sell it to you. I'm like, well, you put it up there, man. It's not my fault. So now, yes, I've owned 2 of those of the 100 guitar run guitars. That's twice in my life I've got lucky on that. Yet I can't win the lottery or find love in life. No, I'm just kidding. Previous favorite guitar right now, BC Rich Pat O'Brien Jr. V. It's my live guitar I go to. It's the black and red BC Rich V I play. I played it in Brutaler the entire time. It's nasty looking. It looks awesome. That'll be the coolest one I have until my SVS Designs custom will be done, which will be the most metal guitar you will ever see in your entire life.
Can't wait to see it.
Oh, God. Me too.
All right. Well, Nate, I got something for you here. It's something we used to do at all the parties that happened here. Basically, we'd always figure out how good the parties went the night before by how many people are still sleeping on the floors the next morning. But at the end of the night, we always threw something off the roof. Why? Because it's fun smashing thing, people. Well, it's just what we did. So we have something off the roof. Now this is one I picked out just for you. Let's see if you can guess what it is by the end. And there we go, a little more out of town, just to remind you what's going on. We are playing the Southtown Poorhouse in Grand Forks. That'll be starting at 9:30 on Saturday.
This is leading up to me getting thrown off the roof.
Right, here, check this out.
What was that?
Is that a skull?
Was that a human skull?
Nope. It looked something like that at one point.
Oh!
That's been around here for years and years, and I was like, oh, Nate, this is the perfect, well, I won't say sacrifice, but it was definitely fun. Yeah, so.
Dragon skull.
I want to see it again. There we go. And you can see that my helpers weren't very good with their throws, so the cameras were not even close.
Well, you kind of saw it there at the end. I mean, you see stuff smashing.
That's a cool scene there.
This, folks, is why we can't have nice things.
That's right.
See, there you go. That kind of looks like Otis Iranga's skull. Gwah.
Oh, I miss Guar. This is my the number 3 favorite show I've ever been to. And that was at Playmakers.
Fantastic band.
That was beautiful. But let's see, just wrap this all up, Mr. Pehler.
Yes.
Things that you want to plug, push, whatever else besides Seen But Not Heard. Excellent podcast for all you meta guys out there. Check it out.
I appreciate that, my friend, and thank you for having me. Like I said, yeah, Seen But Not Heard. Check it out. Check out every local band you can. Just support your scene, whether it be metal, whether it be blues, whether it be whatever. These people are out there giving it their all, whether buy their merch right now. It's rough for musicians. It's tough for us not being able to go out and play. So I'd like to say, just one band in general, but I can't, it's every band. You got to help out. Just support your local musicians, support your local people just trying to give you entertainment, whether it be just supporting them by liking and sharing their stuff on Facebook, or like I said, buying their merch, or just donating to whatever Venmo or whatever people use these days. I don't know. It's a weird world now. With all that.
That's the idea of having this podcast, too, to push out all those people that are still at least trying to get out to play, wanting to play, showing where everybody's at so you can get out there and get into your local scene, get out and support live music. You need to do that.
Yep.
So, Pehler, thank you very much.
Much appreciation, my friend.
It's been a great time. All right, until next time.